So let's get into this video. And it's from Bellular, Bellular News, Bellular Gaming. I posted a link in the chat already, so definitely go support. And then once I put this on YouTube as well, all the info will be in the description below. All the link to the video itself, link to go sub, all that fun stuff. So definitely go support. This is about how Twitch is in serious trouble. Serious is in caps, so you know it's serious. But Twitch has been kind of slacking a bit, and I've been wanting to watch this for a few days. But after realizing that Twitch kind of dropped the ball with September, I was like, you know what, we're just gonna watch this on Saturday because I want to discuss a bunch of stuff, and it's more fun, you know, reacting to stuff when I got you guys alongside. So let's dive right into the video with the intro. Let's see what Bellular's got to say about Twitch.
Welcome back. So today I think I've got some pretty important stuff that you are very likely going to feel in your actual day-to-day of,
Facts.
well, consuming content on the internet. So let's get into things. Today I'm going to be talking about Twitch, because while the likes of Mixer have obviously fell by the wayside, the big old war between YouTube and Twitch is raging. It's raging strong, but there's a difference. While Amazon and Google are absolutely humongous companies, YouTube is a mature, well-monetized product that's been doing its thing for a long time.
Very true.
Whereas Twitch seemingly are not making enough money.
That's what I'm actually worried about, and that's what I read is the reason why they're not doing September. I didn't get to watch Sorry, Nat, I didn't get a chance to watch that yet. I saw it yesterday. And I was like, crap, I need to go watch that. But it's been a very busy few days. So like I kind of zoned out yesterday and just played a bunch of WoW too. And I needed a day to just turn the brain off from the internet, and while spending time on the internet, if that makes sense. But you guys know what I mean. But yeah, I've heard that Twitch's revenue has been lacking a bit, so I'm curious to see if he doesn't have any like data or graphs in here. I might just look that up separately because I'm just curious number wise, because unfortunately with working in, you know, business and management for so long, I have a brain that kind of it shifts towards that whenever I see something going wrong with like a company or like a streaming service or anything like that. I always think, you know, from a business standpoint sometimes, which is it's a good thing. Like I learned a lot, and it's nice to kind of look behind the scenes, kind of just to know like, okay, why is X, Y, and Z happening? So it's cool stuff, but
it seems like that is beginning to make Twitch desperate, and it's causing them to make some fairly interesting moves. We're actually at a situation where, per Senpai Gaming, we actually have bidding wars happening between Twitch and YouTube, where YouTube are literally just more willing to pay money to acquire talent.
All right, so what's this about? It's time to talk about Twitch. Mixer and Co. fell by the wayside. Streaming platform war is only getting more intense. YouTube approaching yet more Twitch talent with large exclusivity deals. They, per Senpai Gaming, I don't know Senpai Gaming, I've never watched them before. In a situation where YouTube simply outbids Twitch. Twitch had better get competitive then, and that's where things get strange. Twitch clearly needs to earn more money. That won't be good for any of us. That's true. Yeah, that's right. They did drop exclusivity recently. You know, I when I first saw that, I assumed it was just for, you know, to be good quality people and not financially, that, and in order to, you know, make people stay more, which in theory, yeah, that makes sense, but I should have realized there was a, you know, a financial reason for doing that for sure. Free spread on YouTube. That's true. Okay, I want to spend hours reading that. Well, not hours, but you guys know what I mean.
It goes beyond that. Twitch are changing up their platform, they are changing up their rules, so Twitch clearly needs to earn more money, and that is not going to be good for either of us.
True.
Unlike this platform. Brilliant. Today's sponsor. They're the best way to improve your prospects.
Nice transition.
And to develop yourself, especially.
I know a lot of people, when they like do reactions and watch stuff, they'll skip through these.
The first 200 to click my link will get 20%
if they put work
off.
into making their ad, I'm gonna watch it.
Say computer science,
especially if there's graphs and nerdy stuff on here. I don't even know what this is.
More approachable. It's fun. It's interactive, and
yeah, I'm really curious to see what else is going on with Twitch, what behind the scenes is going on.
I realized that Brilliant's Introduction to Neural Networks course is the ideal way to learn how it actually works. And everything
this looks like a test. I don't like it.
Interactive quizzes focused around interesting problems, stuff you can relate to. It is so refreshing, and I mean, I don't know about you, but I've got so many gaps in my knowledge. I kind of feel like I've fallen off the wagon a bit, to be honest. Been too busy to develop myself, and that's something that I regret. But Brilliant has got me learning things again. With their approach, you don't just sponge in facts. No, you actually have topics. Click. So if you're thinking about your career, well, I think they're the best way.
Of that, a lot of, and this is what I think companies in general need to actually get behind.
Science, rather than a boring old textbook.
People can't afford school.
What they do, and whether you want to
so more sites like this are going to be more and more important as time goes, and companies got to understand they can't be like, oh, you have a bachelor's, you need a bachelor's degree, work $15 an hour, get the hell out of here.
20% off their annual subscription. So there you go, Brilliant. Honestly, awesome company on an awesome mission. Check them out down below. Let's get back to the news. So the most new thing that's happened that actually does tie into very concerning leaks from a short while ago is that Twitch have actually dropped the exclusivity clause of their partner contract. That's quite interesting. Technically, that's a contract that I have violated because I'm actually a Twitch partner from many years ago, but we do our live show here on YouTube. So, funny enough, that's good for me. But what you're not allowed to do is simultaneously stream on Twitch and another web-based streaming platform like Facebook or, of course, YouTube. But there is an exception for TikTok and Instagram live streaming if people want to do that. So this is overall a fairly interesting situation, and it's got a few second-order effects.
So I never wanted to do like streaming on Twitch and YouTube at the same time because you're stretching your community a bit too thin, and then you have to pay attention to two separate chats. So you're going to miss stuff. I never got behind that. I never thought it was a good idea to do in the first place. I never liked that. Like, if you're going to do on both platforms, you can do it separate times. But I never liked the idea of doing both at the same time. It was just way too much for me.
On the face of it, that's good. It's less restrictive. And that very much means that Twitch people who likely already have an established presence on YouTube because of highlight channels or clip channels, they can start to dip their toes in YouTube if they want. And they can do so without massively alienating or without literally destroying the revenue streams that they've already created over on Twitch. I also have got to wonder if by doing this, Twitch are going to try to perhaps stem that tide of the YouTube exclusivity stuff, right? Like maybe if creators think they can just dip over onto the YouTube side, maybe that could like dampen down that talent acquisition space for a bit.
That's absolutely not going to happen. If people are getting paid millions of dollars to leave Twitch for YouTube, they're gonna go to YouTube 9 out of 10 times. Like they're over time, there's been like no other reasons to stay on to Twitch. Like looking up new streamers on Twitch is impossible. Like you don't find new people on Twitch. You find them through TikTok, Twitter, YouTube. That's how you promote stuff too. Like you don't just sit here on Twitch and stream. Like there's no way to just look that up easily, or they don't highlight, smaller streamers and stuff, and it's getting bad. And they really got to change some stuff around.
It's also the case that if people are to wander over to YouTube but still keep their Twitch, well, that means that all those subs are still going to be bringing Twitch in money. But still, overall, you obviously can't stream both at the same time. So while a streamer could move over and start streaming on YouTube some days, Twitch and other days, it really doesn't make that much sense. So it's a bit of a bizarre thing. What it will do, I think, is make more people feel like they can move off Twitch. And I think they've opened themselves up to something that's going to be dangerous for them in the long run here. And that is that it seems things are only going to get worse on Twitch insofar as their business goes, right? And if things are only going to get worse...
That I can agree with.
And the barrier to switching platform has reduced, there's a high chance that's going to erode Twitch's streamer base or make new people think that they can just start streaming on YouTube and that is going to be a better place to do it. And one of the reasons why this is all quite scary for some people is the leaks. So
now
these
here,
leaks came out.
I haven't heard anything about these leaks, so this I'm actually curious about. But just a question for you guys, because I don't really watch YouTube live streams often, maybe once in a blue moon. But do you guys watch any streamers on YouTube or anything? Because I've never really sat through a normal gaming stream on YouTube, so I don't really know what it's actually like. But I'm curious. Like I said, I want to look into it. Just I don't plan to start that anytime soon, but I'm like in the future, might give it dabble in it.
They're very interesting, and one part of what was leaked was no more exclusivity. The other parts are a new tier
Really?
system, a new revenue split, and incentives for more ads. Now, the incentives we've seen, the new revenue split is the major thing we've got to talk about, and obviously the exclusivity we've seen as well. Now, that rev change is really, really rough. There are actually plenty of Twitch creators that are on a 50-50 contract, but changing that from 70-30 to 50-50, I think is
They're gonna
clearly a situation where Twitch are willing to lose users.
they're gonna lose so many people if they do that. Because a lot of the bigger streamers, like they have, specific contracts that people don't, like the normal, affiliates or normal partners, they don't. They have they change their contracts around and stuff, and a lot of them do have that 70-30 split, where like a normal sub or things like that, it's a basically 50-50. Because Twitch, they do have to make money. Like I want them to succeed, but it's a 70-30 split, or that like going from 70-30 to 50-50. That's gonna lose people, and YouTube having that extra Google money is just gonna throw money at those people to bring them onto YouTube. You watch a few Markiplier streams and they were good. You have, I don't know what to say specifically about them. Yeah, if you're not if you're not watching stuff constantly, you might not even notice a difference. But I'm just curious about I do want to check it out. I might start watching some more people on there. Because again, one of my biggest problems with Twitch is the chance for growth on here. Discoverability is shit on Twitch. Like you can't just find somebody. When you actually grow, you have to do it on other platforms, like I said earlier, and that's why I've got I do clips on TikTok. I post on Twitter all the time. I started my YouTube channel, which has gotten pretty well. So it's Twitch really needs to fix their stuff, man, or else it's gonna be bad. And if this is, oh, that's crazy. If they're willing to lose big streamers like that to just have everybody at 50-50, that's
but
crazy.
Think that they will actually, at the end, come out on top financially. I think that would be a very short-term kind of decision that overall would just obliterate them in the marketplace, because YouTube, for all member-related things, is 70-30, right? 50.
Ad time. This one I'm just gonna lower down. But that's crazy. The lag, you also watch Game Edge, he's pretty good. Okay, Game Edge, I'll have to check him out. The big issue is lag, on YouTube lags more, or Twitch?
70-30. Which one would you choose? I
Obviously,
think anyone in their
go
right
70-30.
mind would choose 70-30. So I think that this is another thing that's going to be pretty damn bad. And as Twitch is caught in a cycle where they have to more deeply monetize a smaller amount of people, well, that's only going to get worse. And
I already hated the amount of ads that we have on our streams. Granted, you can control them a bit, but it's insane. And the pre-roll ads, I want to get to the point where I don't have those anymore. But in order to do that, I've got to run an ad every 10 minutes, which is insane. Why sit and do that? I'd rather just be listen, you guys just got to deal with the pre-roll ad, and then we'll have ads, randomly pop up from time to time. But it's crazy, and that's the downside to this. This really seems like it's just a stupid ass corporate decision from somebody who's doesn't understand industries. And this happens in every corporation. It's some CEO or something. Or oh, what if you do this? It'll make things so much better. No, it won't, dude. I always hate management decisions like that. It's so stupid.
feel like there's a chance it could spiral. Now, YouTube by no means is at its inflection point as a game streaming platform. But what about 2 or 3 years' time?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, YouTube certainly has significantly less stream-related drama than Twitch does. And to dive a little bit more deeply into this...
That's true, and that's another reason why I am very pissed off at Twitch recently. And I'm sure he's going to get into it, but once it pops up, I'll give my thoughts on it, but something happened that really just made me...
We've got to talk about how much streamers earn. So this is posted by Zach Busey, who works just a hell of a lot of what he does is within the streamer space. So the first half of 2022 had 15 million channels go live at least once. 11.1% were affiliates. Only 0.03% were partners. Now, if you include only affiliates and partners,
right?
If you had an average of 6+ viewers, you're in the top 21% of streamers. An average of 26 plus viewers makes you top 5%. Yeah. And if you have 250 plus viewers, you are in the top 1%.
And that's actually something that I need to remember sometimes. When you think that your streams are doing bad, look at these numbers. Like, if you have an average of like 6 viewers, you're in top 21% of all the affiliate and partner streamers. Like, that's pretty big. So, yeah, it might seem like small, but it gets a bit higher. It's crazy that not more partners are there.
Is 250
moving up in the world.
Now,
we're in top 21%, baby. That's how we do.
And then think about a change to a 50-50 split. I mean, obviously, we can look at where they're getting their money from.
Yeah.
Any 70-30 contracts are not going to be good for Twitch. So they will obviously want to change that. And per those leaks, we at least know this is something that has been discussed internally at the company.
Insane.
And if you think about Twitch or just a lot of what we do in general, you think about notable examples, well, you've got to remember the survivorship bias. It's massively impactful here. So Twitch was hacked in 2021. You may remember this.
I forgot about that, yeah.
A whole bunch of creator payout data got leaked.
Right.
It was quite something.
It was insane.
Many people were, of course, earning many millions, but this is what was pointed out. I believe this is from Washington Post analysis at the time, where they, collated some of what people in the know said. 25% of the top 10,000 highest paid Twitch streamers don't make minimum wage. And based on the handful of months in 2021, 25% may underestimate the actual figure. If you take what the 8,000th streamer on the list made since 2019, it's $29,396.
That's 2 years.
Divide that by 2, you get basically $14,700, which is below the annual minimum wage.
The only thing that I want to say here, this data did not include donations and stuff like that. So like donations, at least from Twitch, it doesn't have that included. So I'm sure that they make more than what's shown here, especially if they also utilize other platforms like YouTube, Patreon, things like that. I'm sure they're making a bit more, but just from Twitch alone, like if Twitch ever wants just people to earn and stream and make content just for them, they're gonna have to pay a shit ton more, and it's never gonna happen. Like you don't make money just off of Twitch alone.
Of $15,000, and that itself may even be a charitable estimate. So you can see, you're 8,000th in the world. You would think that really would mean you've climbed to the top of the hill. No. So obviously, Twitch are making a hell of a lot of money from a relatively small number of streamers playing ads and getting subs. So any changes in the deal will be pretty important there. Now, advertising is, of course, massive for these platforms. Indeed, it is the main way that YouTube monetizes itself. Often YouTube have tried to do other things, and they haven't really worked out that well.
It's mainly ads on YouTube.
Well, they're Google. Google is an advertisement company, ultimately, when you think about where its revenue goes.
True.
And between AdSense, AdWords, they have got, well, at this stage, actually, pretty much decades of experience in the ads market.
Sorry, it just hit me how old I am when he said decades. All right.
It is what they are extremely good at.
Pain.
Ads are massive for Twitch. And if you're a viewer of Twitch streams like me, you probably get frustrated at ads all the time. Well, now it's time to talk about the new ad system that Twitch have implemented. So they announced they're moving to a 55% split for ads, which is actually on par with YouTube.
Yeah, which is good.
They pay us for adverts. But the thing is, they've implemented this in a peculiar way. As
this I haven't seen.
A cash reward for almost doing a bounty. They're overtly withholding creator money, basically saying, jump through our hoops, bitch. That's essentially what they're doing, right? So, just so you're aware.
They're hold on, I wanna look at this again. So they're offering personalized offers. So it's like, here's $100 incentive if you run 2 minutes of ads per hour for 40 hours this month. 300 if you run 3 minutes of ads per hour. I don't know about you guys, but if a streamer has 4 minutes of ads running in an hour, I'm not going to stay around and watch. That's way too much. There's a 32 in the chat. I appreciate it. We're getting old. We old. Well, this is ridiculous. Like, it's good that they're trying to offer more money, but not this. Like, this is shit.
Jump through our hoops,
God.
bitch. That's essentially what
That's
they're
horrible,
doing,
man.
right? So, just so you're aware, on YouTube, if I publish a video or do a live stream, YouTube will give the, my cut of the amount of money that has been generated from my video. I get 55%, they get 45%. No matter what, that's how it works. No ifs, no ands, no buts, no asterisks.
That's how it should be.
On Twitch, though, it's very different. And on Twitch, I think I may be realizing one of the ways that they are trying to offer exclusivity to maybe make people feel a bit safer, but trying to implement systems that tie people down. So this is the ad incentive program.
You know what the problem with this is? I know, I don't know exactly what Amazon does, but I know they have, and this is a lot of companies do this, where they'll give you incentives if, you work more or like don't call out or something stupid like that, where instead of just paying you more money, they're like, hey, you have to do this for us in order to get more money. And I think that's unfortunately where this is kind of stemming from, which it doesn't work for companies in general. I don't know why they think it would work here. It blows my mind. I'm very, can't relate. Mood. Well, not a mood, unfortunately, but I act young.
Right?
That's all that matters.
You will basically get an incentive if you meet some thresholds.
It's crazy.
So run 2 minutes of ads per hour, stream 40 hours this month, and this is Twitch's example, you'll get $100. 3 minutes of ads, $300. 4 minutes of ads, 40 hours streamed in the month, $500. I mean, hey, you could look at that and say, okay, that's pretty sweet, if you don't think too hard about it and you don't think about what they're actually doing. Now, here is an example I found from just somebody who was sharing their own data, as you can see there.
What is this?
1 minute of ads per hour, stream 113 hours this month, $761. That doubles for 2 minutes, and it's $2,038 incentive for running 3 minutes of ads per hour for 113 hours this month. Now, 113 hours is quite a lot. And the thing is, if you are going to try to actually do a really interesting, engaging stream, you're going to have time out doing research, time out even working on your stream, like literally working on your stream to make it better for your viewers. Maybe some sponsor stuff, some business. You got to handle your tax. You've got to do all the other things. Believe me, I thought it would basically be easy, be paid to play video games before I got stuck into this whole shindig. Let me tell you, it ain't that easy. But what's really bad here, let's just say this individual did run 3 minutes of ads per hour for 113 hours.
That's so many ads.
Well, if they did that for less than, less hours, they would not earn the incentive. But the thing is, that incentive is the 55-45 split. That incentive is money that they have earned. And Twitch is saying, unless you jump through this hoop, we're not going to give you this cut of the revenue that you
So are they
generated.
saying that you don't get that split unless you do something specific for them? That's even worse. That's much worse. Sorry, Salad.
That would be like YouTube saying, hey, we want you to generate maybe 200,000 watch hours this month. And if you do...
Oh, watch hours, yeah, that's doable. Okay. I was like, who would stream 200,000 hours in a month?
That would be YouTube withholding revenue that we're earned. So it's bizarre. There are examples from high-profile streamers of this really paying.
Right.
There are also examples of these being frankly ludicrous. But for me, the overall point is that this just feels like they are really, they're just, like you get a damp towel, you try to remove the water, you just wring it really tight. That is what it feels like they're doing.
And they could also easily, like, say somebody does that 3 ads per hour for 112 hours for the month. They need to do 113 hours to get any money. If something happens and they're not able to hit that 113 hours for the month, Twitch keeps that $2,000 and then gets all that extra ad revenue anyway. So that's probably what they're hoping for.
But of course, that's not all. We've also, I think, got to talk a little bit about some of the desperation that's happened with Twitch. At least this is a funny story, right? So they started offering a thing called a boost, where you could basically give the person you're watching
I forgot about this.
10,000 impressions. That would basically just mean, throw us some money and we will give this person a little sponsored spot or a featured spot on a more visible area of Twitch.
Stupid.
And that maybe will generate some viewership for them. So they were basically saying, hey, we have a discoverability problem and we are going to try to sell you the solution.
Yeah, of course.
Rather,
instead of just fixing the damn thing.
In order to make their platform overall more healthy and successful.
I forgot they did the entire boost thing. It was something so stupid that I was like, this is dumb. Like, I didn't even talk about it with you guys at all, because I'm like, just, first off, never do that. Like, ever. Don't waste your money on something stupid like that. It's literally a scam. And they're just trying to make extra money by getting, I want to say vulnerable. I think that's probably the best term. You know, vulnerable creators who are trying to grow. And they're like, oh, hey, if we give Twitch this money, they'll promote our stream for a bit. No, don't do that. It's just giving Twitch way too much money. Exactly. Never waste your money.
And again, if you look at YouTube, the one thing that YouTube does extremely well is discoverability.
Yep.
I've been
so much
doing
better.
this for almost a decade. I know how the algorithm works across multiple niches, multiple channels. The discoverability is basically the foundation of so many people's careers. And it just does not exist in that same way over on Twitch.
Yeah. Hell, like the reason why my sub count and view count in general and watch hours and everything jumped up so much the past, I think it was like middle July, early July. It was sometime in July. That reaction video I had to one of Pint's videos just started getting traction and just started being shown more and more. And that was a like 2 or 3 month old video at that time. I think 2 month old. And it just kind of picked up traction out of nowhere, and it was fantastic. That type of thing could never happen on Twitch, ever. And it's rough. Like, I know, granted, it's different platforms there, like that's not a streaming platform, but the thing is, with YouTube, that could lead to more viewership for streams by growing it with videos. And it's, yeah, granted, the discoverability for like YouTube live streams, I don't know how to really find things on there, which is bad. So I gotta try and figure that out, but I don't think they really do a good job of showing off their live stream services that much. And I think that's a problem with them. Nowhere near how bad Twitch is, though, with not giving discoverability to, you know, smaller creators.
Which partially is fair enough, because I think there are reasons why it's inherently a bit harder within the streamer space. Now, this boost thing ended up falling by the wayside because
it was
people
dumb.
quickly realized, hang on a second, what if a channel streams some porn and then we all boost that channel, then Twitch will have porn on their front page. Yeah, that happened.
I did not know that happened. I didn't know that happened. But considering that Twitch literally only gave a 7-day ban to somebody who had straight up intercourse on stream, I don't think they'd really care at this point.
Is pretty damn hilarious, and Twitch stopped the program. But then they did launch another experiment called Boost Trains. Basically just, it's like a new sub-train thing that will give enhanced visibility. I think it's significantly better, but again, it is Twitch trying to monetize some of the discoverability issue. And I'll cover the number later.
It's bad.
About 70% of discoverability is from sources external to Twitch. Suffice to say, on YouTube, it is not like that whatsoever. The next thing, then, is staff leaving the company.
Now, this I haven't heard anything about, so I'm curious on this part.
That happened recently enough include their CEO,
300 employees
their
left.
COO, their CCO, their head of creator development, who you may recognize, DJ Weed. I remember watching his StarCraft podcasts, well, literally a decade ago. And this is what he said afterward. We went down the Silicon Valley route, hiring from Facebook, from Twitter. Many new employees had little understanding of gaming or live streaming and were unwilling to learn what this community was, why it was special.
They did the same thing when they tried to make New World in the first place. New World, I was very excited for that MMO. I still am. Like, I'm gonna play it soon. Actually, I want to make a whole video on like the new player experience in New World because I haven't played it yet. But 1 year later, it literally came out the end of September of last year. But they hired people who didn't know MMOs, so they literally went out and hired people for a primarily video game live streaming service who had no idea about gaming or live streaming at all. Honestly, that also kind of makes sense why streams of like the hot tub stuff and all the other, and don't get me wrong, like I don't knock on anybody who like uses sex to like do streams and stuff, because people are dumb and they'll actually like it and whatnot. But the amount that it's been like gotten extreme, it just more and more out of hand, and more just straight up porn at this point, it's bad. And this actually, in my brain, that kind of makes sense.
The customer was the content creator. If you're not passionate about the product,
Yeah.
you're not really looking at it from
Not at
the
all.
customer's lens. And so you don't have the same level of empathy. That's what somebody else said. And
That's
that,
crazy.
I think, overall encapsulates a lot of what has really frustrated Twitch creators, where they feel like they're not being taken seriously. They feel more of a pinch from Twitch. And I think it's becoming obvious to a lot of people. I mean, I think Twitch, was it 2.3 billion in revenue they had in one of the more recent years, where I think YouTube, it was like well over 100 billion.
Oh,
right? So
absolutely.
YouTube is just earning so much more money, and I think it's a situation where YouTube is more important to Google than Twitch is to Amazon. I mean,
100%.
look at Amazon's other efforts within the gaming sphere. Like, yeah, New World exploded. There is the Lost Ark that kind of exploded for a bit.
I forgot they did put out Lost Ark too, which, hey, it did all right, but they kind of dropped the ball a lot on their gaming sphere with stuff. That's why it's a bad idea to bring non-gamers and non-stream. Yes, 100%. Yeah, because, they just look at it from a pure revenue standpoint. And like, oh, all these people are watching, this girl literally, like, simulate a blowjob on stream. Let's promote that. And then they wonder why ads, like ad companies and companies don't want to put ads on that stream. And they're like, oh, why aren't we making money anymore? Stupid as shit. The MMO thing, yeah, that blew my mind. Like I said earlier, there are some dumb ass people in management and who make the decisions for a lot of these companies, and it sucks. Like, it blows my mind, dude.
It does have a lot of drama now. Before that, you just had an extensive graveyard of games and years of development time just flushed down the toilet.
Oh yeah. Oh, wasn't Amazon Games were also working on a Lord of the Rings game, I believe. And they were, I think it was Lord of the Rings. I'm 99% sure. I'd have to double check, but I don't want to spend time looking that up right now. But I think they did that and started working on the game for a few years and then just scrapped the entire thing and wasted probably millions of dollars over a couple of years.
But hey, I will at least say Twitch Prime, now that is pretty damn good.
Twitch Prime is cool.
And I think this is where we've got to talk a little bit about the competition. A little bit, I suppose, about my own personal decision making.
Mm-hmm.
Because ultimately, it's not just me sitting down and thinking, do I want to stream in this platform or that program or that platform? Right? Like, we have employees. I have to sit down and I have to think, what's the best overall thing so that I'm being responsible in leading this team of people.
Exactly.
So, the big streaming war. The first one, I think it's obvious that Twitch is not making enough money for its parent company. And that directionally seems to mean that things can only go one way for creators and viewers, and that way is worse. I would expect more advertisements. As an example, look at the ads that, like, literally this incentive program. For a lot of people, like 3 minutes of ads an hour feels pretty big. The thing is, though, this is based on past behavior, right? So here's another one. 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes. Yeah. I have seen creators show their version of this where it's even more minutes of ads per hour.
Of course.
I believe I've seen, it was either 6 or 8. I mean, 8 minutes? Wow.
That's literally 1/6, roughly, well, 1/7 of your stream. It's just ads.
Because this isn't creator ran ads where the creator hits a button, right? Maybe they say, okay, I'm going to go get a cup of tea. I'll hit the ad button. Thanks for your support. I'll be back in a minute. No, this is only for auto-played ads. And the other thing, of course, Twitch loves to hit you with the big unskippable. Now look, I've used YouTube on a TV, not on my premium account, and yeah, the ads can be pretty frustrating. But more often than not, you can skip them in 5 seconds, and then the ad's done with, and you're back to the content. On Twitch, doesn't really work like that.
No,
Twitch
you have to sit through the entire ad
of those lovely 30-second unskippables.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times have you went to Twitch and basically seen the same advert for Audible, another Amazon product, again and again
over
and
and
again
over
and again, to the point where you just want to Alt F4 your browser and do something else?
True. And I don't know about you guys, but like for me, and I'm sure this is for a lot of other people whose attention span just isn't that long. Like, I get what I need from an ad within 5 seconds anyway. Like, if I see an ad for 5 seconds, I'm like, oh, okay, this product's that cool. I skip it. Like, it's just going to be more annoying if I have to sit through 30 seconds of it, and it's not going to make me want that product or be interested in that product at all. Like, at least that's just me.
So I think all of us, we're just going to feel the pinch more and more and more, and overall, it is a worse advertising experience. There's also things that are important to the baseline health of the platform. Now, YouTube by no means is a saint when it comes to copyright stuff.
The copyright stuff on YouTube is intense, but they are, at least you know what you're getting into, and at least they know how to handle things. Like on Twitch, we had people, was it just last year? I think it was like Pokemon and stuff. We're watching, just straight up sitting and watching Avatar: The Last Airbender. Just on stream for hours. You could never do that shit on YouTube. But it just blows my mind, man.
I think you should check out Business Casual's insane situation where, well, it's an insane situation. What I will say broadly, though, is that because YouTube almost got sued into oblivion a long time ago, they've invested a lot of money in the likes of Content ID.
The Business Casual thing, I watched a video on that the other day. It is absolutely insane. It has to really grab you and make you want to endure more than 5 seconds. True. I absolutely agree with that. Yeah, and like sometimes they will tease it and be like, oh, so blah, 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 we'll build up and then won't tell you what it is until the end. No, just get to the point, dude. That's why I respect companies that literally make their ads 5 seconds long. That's perfect. It's like, fantastic idea. Respect to you.
Look, as a creator, it can be quite frustrating if, you put one swear word in the first 30 seconds of a video and then it gets demonetized. Or, I don't know, like in this channel, if we include Grand Theft Auto trailer footage, that often will get copyright claimed. But our content gets claimed. We're told so before we've pushed the content live, giving us an opportunity to amend the problem, put the video back up. While it is friction, while it is frustrating, it, generally speaking, is a pretty damn reliable system that does its job. And broadly, while there are potential abuses that we're all aware of, it does keep people safe enough. And mostly the rules are fair, even though there are notable examples.
Like, it happens.
Bullshit. Over in Twitch, though, I mean, do you remember the DMCA music debacle? I mean, wow, what would have happened if the likes of, say, Riot Games didn't come in and just offer everybody their, stream-safe music?
Big props to Riot for that, by the way. And yeah, sometimes if I'm like really into a video, the ads just are a pain in the ass instead of, actually good. Like these, I'm not paying attention to these ads at all.
Another example of Twitch knowing that there's been a looming problem that's going to hit loads of their creators and not doing anything proper to deal with the issue. Okay, it's 2022. This is a bit less of a drama now, but it was quite an important thing in 2021 and earlier on this year. There's also discoverability, which I've talked about before. Discoverability in YouTube basically just means whenever you post some content, as long as you can get enough initial followers for the algorithm to understand what sort of viewer would enjoy that content, it generally does actually do a pretty damn good job of driving views to that content. A lot of people will say, my content doesn't go out to my subs. Often that's actually not really the case. There are a few exceptions, of course. But very often it's actually the fact that most of your subscribers as a YouTuber don't use a subscription feed. The vast majority of YouTube traffic is driven via what's next,
just discoverability,
via recommended, via the homepage, where just like it's a fruit machine in a casino, you refresh the homepage, you go cha-chink, and you hope that some interesting pictures appear in front of you so you can click one of them to watch.
It happens.
That is.
That's why a lot of people say, put the, click on, when you subscribe to somebody, make sure you click that little bell icon too. This way you actually get a notification when a new video goes live. Otherwise, like, I used to watch my subscription, feed and everything much more often. Nowadays, like, there's so many things just showing to me at my, homepage for YouTube. I just catch those like this. I was not subbed to Bellular News. This popped up on there. I'm like, oh, this looks good. And I clicked on it. Discoverability
is unfortunately how it works. But it does actually work pretty damn good, and it can get people a lot of discoverability in such a way that really just does not happen in Twitch, such that you're looking at around 30% of creators being discovered on Twitch, while the other 70% is coming from the likes of Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, etc. There's then also the issue of synergy, and I think this is somewhere where Twitch have done really well by being a niche, and they've dominated the live streaming gaming sector. But now that we've got the likes of Tim the Tatman, we've got Dr. Disrespect, and a lot of other major names, Ludwig, of course, one thing that many are beginning to see is the power of synergy. Here's a really good example. Via YouTube memberships, you can essentially run what most people would consider to be a Patreon. You can run that on YouTube. Now, you have to take the 70-30 split, which to some people will sting, but that will allow you to do early access content, audience polls, just lots of different audience rewards. So there's a strong synergy between live streamed content, between shorts, and between your regular VOD YouTube content. Now,
which is great. And that's another reason why I'm like kind of intrigued with that, and it's like to try it out eventually, because everything just kind of works all together. But it sucks. I love Twitch, and it's just like, I wish it would just be better at things. It would be great. I was gonna say something else. My brain literally shut off. If I remember it, I'll mention it, but literally completely forgot. I actually I signed up for a Patreon page like months ago just so I have it. I haven't decided what I want to do with it yet. I do want to do something with it eventually, just like have something extra. But I'll be like, I don't know, in the future. I haven't worked on it yet, but just in the back of my mind, I always have that there too.
One of the people who's been an absolute champion for us in this scene is Ludwig, who has even had direct communications with Susan Wojcicki, the CEO of YouTube. And it's not like he went on her podcast or he went to her office. She actually went to his podcast.
Which is really cool.
And apparently,
I saw some parts of that.
We've actually learned that YouTube is working on better ways to distinguish content on their platform. So you basically don't have live streams, shorts, and regular YouTube content kind of crowding each other in the same space.
Yeah.
Now, of course, YouTube does have its downsides, right? You can get a thing that I sort of call notification cannibalization, where, let's just say, you want to release a video the same day that you live stream. Well, if you release that video while you're streaming, it'll get no initial momentum because people are watching your live stream. And sometimes it can just give people too many notifications and it all gets a bit messy. And then, of course, there is that very crowded experience of...
That's another reason why, because for a while there, I was doing like a short and then something else most days. I was like, let me cut that down to just one video a day. One, because it's overwhelming as hell. Two, it's too much. Like, I do it when I can. Some days I will have more videos come out, but like today, I don't have anything coming out, and I had to kind of learn that I don't need to go crazy doing one thing a day. Because just with everything else going on in life, like, still trying to, find a job and stuff like that, like, I still have to focus time on that. I wish I could just dedicate all of my time to content creation. I wish I could, like, justify it. It would be great.
Of people's content, where sometimes to know that a YouTuber you like is streaming, you almost have to just go to YouTube, and if they are streaming, hope that their thing gets presented to you. That's something YouTube will absolutely have to fix.
Right.
Even though in other ways the discoverability is good. As an example, if I was live streaming and you were to watch one of our Warcraft videos, my icon would be red, indicating I'm currently live, and that would allow you to
hop
immediately to my live stream. So the likes of that are actually quite powerful. Another problem with YouTube, in a way, and it's not necessarily their fault, but it's culture. Twitch culture, I think, is the greatest asset that Twitch have. Twitch make a lot of money from ads, but also from subs, from bits, all that stuff. So the whole gift...
The hype trains, the gift subs, the rating, all that stuff, that community and that culture is specific to Twitch, and that's why I like it. That's why I've actually stayed here instead of dabbling in other live stream services. Because that's just so cool. You know, it's a really neat thing. Like I got my first hype train the other day. I was super hyped. It was awesome. I was so happy. And it's just a cool things like that you don't get that in, you know, YouTube streams or anywhere else.
Gifted subs as a cultural thing,
Mm-hmm.
it exists far more profoundly in Twitch than it does over on YouTube, where, yes, YouTube does not convert as highly into revenue as Twitch does, almost entirely down to the cultural differences in the platform.
Mm-hmm.
Also, some specific things. As an example, YouTube's implementation of gifted memberships is quite simply not as good as Twitch's implementation of gifted subs. So
True.
YouTube does have a lot of things to fix. But overall, I look at the innovations you could say that YouTube are doing, and a lot of that is them playing catch up to Twitch. A lot of that is them adding new features. As an example, you can show your merchandise under a YouTube video. There's quite a few things like that.
Which is cool.
Generally, it's more features for creators to support ultimately what a lot of creators are.
It's more
which is
variety of
small
things.
businesses.
Yeah.
Obviously, most of that stuff is good for YouTube as well, right? They'll make their cut. But I think it's becoming obvious that YouTube is a more mature and figured out product that basically has its revenue model sorted. Now, there are some things like, say, YouTube Shorts. They do not earn as much money as YouTube videos because they operate on a creator fund basis where, let's just say YouTube says they have $300 million and they will divide that up between shorts based on watch time across the whole platform. And it turns out that that gets sliced up to the point where the CPMs are pretty awful. So that,
Yeah, like you're not going to make money off of shorts. Shorts are there to promote the rest of your videos. And that's kind of what I utilize them for. That's why I mainly use clips for that. So you mostly use YouTube videos while learning how to paint models. Yeah, if you get an ad during that, especially if it's like a 2-minute ad, like one of those crazy ones that you know, you're busy painting. You're not going to be able to go click on something to skip it. I definitely feel that pain.
that's one example of those being rough. But even TikTok actually has seen the amount of money that it makes per view absolutely plummet in the last little while, because quite simply, that pie of money is being sliced up thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner because more people are driving more views and watch time as that platform grows. So overall then, I try to think about what directionally makes the most sense. And to me, it did end up being YouTube. Now, one reason there is because most of my audience is on YouTube because I was a YouTuber first. But the thing is, if you say want to make it on Twitch, man, I'd recommend having a YouTube presence first or anything like that. Because going from 0 to the top 1%, so maybe to 250 plus views, whatever, that is so unlikely if you are just sitting there on Twitch doing the grind, perhaps even doing the 60 hours a month for a tiny ad incentive grind.
Don't do that. Don't. If you're trying to stream on Twitch, don't just sit there and think that streaming more is going to bring in more viewers. No, it doesn't. You'll get maybe a couple, but it doesn't. You gotta grow off of other platforms too.
It just ain't worth it. Gotta think about other ways to grow yourself and get yourself known faster. Basically, it's the snowball rolling down the hill metaphor. You need to build enough of a snowball to then roll down, if you know what I mean.
If I could go back in time to like 2 years ago when, you know, 2020 happened, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna, you know, finally start streaming like I've wanted to for a while. If I could go back and do that, I would have started on YouTube first and just started making videos and like gameplay videos on YouTube, and then shifted over to Twitch after I learned more about everything and, you know, things like that. But hey, that's what I'm trying to work on now. So you'll learn over time.
I mean, I overall then, if I was to sort of end this with a bit of a thesis on things, Twitch has an obvious problem, YouTube has obvious problems. YouTube absolutely must give a premium membership, right? So if somebody has YouTube Premium, they should get a free membership each month, just like with Twitch Prime.
Oh, that'd
They
be
should
cool.
definitely
Yeah, that'd
do
be very smart, actually.
If YouTube Premium could also give people maybe perks and games, like Amazon's Prime Gaming does.
Prime
I think
Gaming
that
gives you
would
a lot
also
of
be
stuff.
A good way for them to compete on that basis.
Yeah.
All right. as for Twitch, 50-50, I think, is ridiculous.
Yeah, that's
given
bad.
that value is coming from the creators. I think 50-50 is kind of ridiculous.
There's going to be
Now,
a lot
55-45,
more.
that's industry standard when it comes to adverts, so that is fine.
Yeah.
But ultimately, if somebody streams for X amount of time, shows X amount of ads that should generate Y or Z, whatever, just an amount of money, give them that money. Don't say, hey, you have to complete this goal.
Yeah, that's stupid.
This is like some bizarre gamified gig economy.
Yeah, exactly. A gig economy. I love the way to word that. But this is just literally putting up a wall to have people want to actually use your platform. This sucks. No other term for it. This is stupid and horrible and just made up by some crazy CEO who's sitting just looking at numbers, doesn't understand how anything in the world works. That's what this is from.
And I wonder if they are trying to do this as a habit-forming mechanism to basically gamify the earning money bit.
When Twitch starts doing dailies, then we're going to have a problem. Thankfully, they haven't started doing daily quests for Twitch yet. I've never played any of these games. Okay.
As a way to make the whole enterprise seem a bit less grim. I wonder. And that's not even touching on their historic just uselessness at content moderation. To the degree where
True.
so many people just don't even take their platform seriously.
You don't give them
right?
ideas?
Like sometimes you go onto Twitch and it's like,
be.
okay, cool, what is this? Why is this basically just softcore porn? What's going on there?
See? And like I said before, I am all for whatever, dude. You know, do what you want to do to stream. Like, hey, more power to ladies. I think you guys have realized by now I support the shit out of people. However best, yeah, like you do you. But it gets to a point where there is a line that you do not cross. And Twitch has crossed that so many times now. And they let people get away with things, and then they just keep pushing more and more and more just to see what they get away with. The thing most recently, which just pissed me off completely, was the female streamer who, like, you guys can look it up. I'm not going to go into in detail with it, but you can literally see in a reflection what was going on. They got a 7-day ban. There was another streamer. I'm sadly drawing a blank on his name. Who did a hate raid for Pokimane and told his chat to just do like, you know, it was L plus ratio or something like that, and for his chat to spam in her chat, which that's stupid. That's mean to do. Like, just don't do shit like that. Banned for life. Banned for life from Twitch for that, when somebody can literally go fuck on stream and get 7-day ban. That's some hypocritical shit if I've ever heard it before. And it's really bad. Consider being a YouTuber, streamer, even a VTuber. But VTubers are great, dude. They are crazy. Yeah, just, you know, dabble in it a little bit and see what you like more. But Twitch is out of control, man.
Or many other things like gambling.
I didn't even say the gambling stuff. They promote gambling so friggin' much on Twitch. Like, it blows my mind. You go on Twitch right now. You know what? Let me bring up Twitch right now, actually. But not that screen. This screen. I just want to go here. I don't have it on screen here, but I'm just curious. Whoops, not the image. I just want to see really quick how many, like, there's a whole gambling, like, category. And right now, all right, there's slots. So slots has 34.9K viewers. Is there one that's just specifically gambling? Let me see. Not special events. I could have sworn there was one that was just gambling. Or am I making that up? Am I confusing that with slots? No, okay, so there's slots, there's poker, there is, it's retro gaming, I think it's all classified under slots. Okay, I thought there was one that was just straight up gambling. I thought it was just that, but it's the slots that I'm thinking. So yeah, slots is almost 35K viewers right now. And oh no, I'm sorry. 35K viewers for that, and there's also a virtual casino which also has 35.7K viewers. And gambling can be addictive. Slot machines can be addictive. That's why a lot of gacha games make so much money, because they entice you to gamble, basically, to see what you get from packs or draws and things like that. It's bad. And like a lot of people go on there and they'll promote their crypto. And there's this one gambling website, again, drawing blank on the name, and it's they just, like, you got to remember your audience, and there are a lot of kids who watch Twitch and stuff. I wouldn't feel good about myself if I showed me spending thousands of dollars to gamble, and knowing that that could entice somebody to basically lose their life savings and just throw their life away gambling. I'd feel miserable about it. Some people just don't have a heart, but hey, that's them. But them promoting that stuff is just horrible. Now, I love gacha games, don't get me wrong. If I had the money, I would be getting so much crap in gacha games, but it's bad. You have some strong words about promoting gambling like that. I can imagine. Yeah, it's bad. And then it doesn't help that there's so many games out there, Diablo Immortal, where they just take your money. Viewish videos on nothing much. I think monetization. It is it's different. Like, I think, honestly, for me, like, just where my life is right now, I think once I get that 1K subscribers on YouTube, which hopefully sometime soon ish, fingers crossed, I'm really trying, it'll be a lot easier for me to justify spending more time making content and everything. And it's not a lot, but it'll at least get the ball rolling with things. All right, let's finish up this video. I keep talking too much.
Go onto Twitch and like, cool, there's all the gambling content. And I could level that criticism at YouTube too, by the way.
Well, yeah.
It just feels like Twitch have been listless. I mean, in a way, leaderless. All these top level people going. And when these top level people are going, when over 300 employees left in 2021 because they're experiencing pretty damn high churn in their, in their workforce.
Yeah.
While all of these bad seeming things are happening, they are just tightening the screw on monetization. Overall, I think
it's not going to end well
for the long-term health of that platform. I would not be surprised if right now a lot of the Twitch creators that you watch are planning their move to YouTube.
That's why I've been
probably
thinking
not telling you about it. Probably thinking, okay, I need to stake a claim here. I need to get ready to slowly move over in 2 or 3 years in case there are more blunders, in case that 50-50 split goes.
That's one thing that I no matter how big I get, this is something I always want to do. I always just try and like keep it real. Like, if I plan on doing something, I'm going to tell you guys. Like, it's also why I tell you guys, look, I feel bad about that. I'd like never start on time, but I always tell you guys, I'm like, listen, don't expect me to start on time. Be like, at least 10 minutes minimum. At least for now. But we're getting there. But I always like to just be real with you guys. I'm never gonna, do this BS stuff. Granted, there's always, if I'm like working on something I can't talk about, that's a whole different thing. But there's no reason to like, hide stuff like that. But like, yeah, I'm thinking about trying out YouTube streaming and see how it goes. But we'll see. I'm really fingers crossed. Like I said, I love Twitch. I hope they fix their stuff, but it is good to kind of have a quote unquote backup plan, or just something to try more, because as it is now, like I said earlier, you can't grow just on Twitch. Like, it's impossible. You have to utilize other platforms to do so, and if that also lines up with the live streaming part of it, then you gotta do what you gotta do. Starting on time is part of streamer curse. Yes, it's true.
They're going to be thinking, okay, 50-50 sub split, that's not good. Should I just tell my audience to donate to me in Streamlabs instead? Or to donate to my Patreon instead? I don't know. But all of these things are risk factors for Twitch.
True. Because even if, because if people do that, that's insane. Like, just think about it this way. If somebody makes, just to make numbers easier, If somebody makes 100K a year from Twitch for subs and whatnot, currently they're bringing home 70K of that. Well, they're earning 70K of that before taxes and everything, and then Twitch takes 30K. Once this changes, they're going to be out $20,000 a year. I don't know about you, but any job that says they're going to take $20,000 away from me would not make me stay with that job at all. So just, thought process there.
So that is the situation as I see it. Obviously, I am on YouTube. I have streamed on Twitch in the past. More recently, I've streamed on YouTube. You could argue that I have a horse in this race in the same way that, say, Ludwig does. But ultimately, I think about the communications that Ludwig and Susan Wojcicki have had, and I kind of think, wow, that actually... How is it that the massive behemoth of YouTube is managing to come off more personable than
Which is
Twitch,
weird.
whose like DNA should be us?
Yep.
I don't know. Let's hope that competition drives Twitch to be better, because I do not want to be the Google man, where Google have a near monopoly in streaming.
Yeah.
And a near monopoly in VOD.
Yeah.
No, Twitch is important in this space.
Especially after Mixer just, went bye-bye. It's really only Twitch and YouTube right now. Like Facebook gaming, whatever. I've never even cared about Facebook gaming. I don't know how people can actually watch that, because Facebook is just horrible in general, even as a platform. But there needs to be more live streaming services that pop up instead of just the big two. Because competition breeds growth, and if you just get stagnant, like part of this stuff, like honestly, part of it probably with Twitch is 2020, so many people were watching live streams and stuff. Like the growth on Twitch was insane, and this is another downside to poor management and just what CEOs do. When Twitch was probably making their forecasts and their budget for 2021, they were like, oh, look how much money we made in 2020. This is totally going to, we're going to have to budget and forecast for something even higher than this in 2021. When no, that's no physical way that's going to happen. Your revenue is going to dip because more people are going back in the office. They're going back to work. They're not homesick for weeks on end. They're not going to be watching your platform that much. But they never think about stuff like that. They only look at it in numbers. And that's probably why they're panicking on trying to make budget this year and adding all this stuff to it. That's my opinion, just from how I know businesses run, how I've done, P&Ls and forecasts and stuff like that. That's how they handle things. And it sucks. It really sucks. Imagine Facebook not letting your account be hacked and be locked. That's true. I don't blame you for hating Twitch a little bit. But I hate Facebook in general. It's just it's just such a crappy platform. I don't get it.
It was sad that Mixer went by the wayside, because
What
Mixer
I just said.
meant more competition, and more competition is good.
Mm-hmm.
Let me know what you think about this. And again, what is your experience like as a viewer? Do you feel like it's been getting worse? To be honest, I find being a viewer on Twitch pretty frustrating. I suppose I should just get Turbo. But let me know what your experience has been. That's the most important thing here. Okay, that's it for me.
Fair.
Do check out Brilliant, today's sponsor. They're an awesome sponsor. They're one of the most, like, thumbs up. I will accept your sponsorship.
Still can't get to your face, but
mission's
that's
pretty
stupid.
awesome, and your tools are great. So check out Brilliant with
sucks.
that link down below.
It sucks, Aaron. I'm so
Thanks to you
sorry.
for watching. I'll see you next time.
All right, so that was Bellular. Again, I love Bellular stuff. He makes a lot of MMO videos, talks about 14 a lot, talks about WoW and things like that. So there's a link to the video in chat. Go give it a like, subscribe, and just watch the video. Even if you have it on the background, give him some more views and watch time and whatnot, because it's important for stuff like that. I gotta also check out his other channel on here, Bellular Gaming. I think I'm subscribed to it, but I'm not sure. But I'll take a look in a little bit. But very good stuff, and I'm very glad that I waited a few days to be able to stream this and talk with you guys about it, and give my impressions on stuff like this, because Twitch needs to change big time. They need to fix their shit, for lack of a better term, and hopefully they do. Like, I want them to succeed. I love Twitch as a platform, and I really hope things get better. But we'll see what happens.